Hey everybody, welcome to our 12th tool. I can't believe we made it all the way to 12. Take a look at our list. Actually, when I started writing with the breathing tool and the quiet safe space tool, I was so worried I was going to run out of space and not fit in all 12. And look, all 12 fit just perfectly. Today's tool is called the Courage tool, and I love that it's the 12th tool because it really is a combination of using all of the other tools or being willing to use all of the other tools. So something you might not know about me is that I really love learning about Latin and Greek roots and where words come from. And the word courage comes from the Latin root cor, which means heart. And the hand gesture for courage is to put your hand over your heart. The reason that heart is so involved with courage is that you are following your heart, you are taking the lead from your heart, you are listening to your heart, and you are acting from a place of your own heart. You can probably start to see why this tool involves all of the other tools, because you have to be brave. You have to be able to be quiet enough to listen to your own heart, and sometimes that means going to your quiet space, definitely means listening. To have courage often means to use empathy and think about it, someone else's situations. You will often use words when you are using courage because you will be speaking up or speaking out about something. Even the please and thank you, apology, forgiveness, patience tool, they all tie into courage. So one thing I want you to think just a little bit about is, what do you think of? Who do you think of when you think of the word courage? You can talk for a little bit with the adult that you're watching this with, and then just come right back with us. So one thing I know is a lot of people think of superheroes or people that do really unbelievably courageous things as heroes and people that use courage. And I think that that's true too. But I also think that every person uses courage all day long for little things and big things. Sometimes even noticing someone in the cafeteria that maybe is new to Vestal and needs a friend, going over and asking if they want to eat with you, that takes courage, because it might feel a little uncomfortable, or it might be something that no one else is willing to do. Another small thing that I think is actually really a big thing that takes a lot of courage is saying, I don't know. Sometimes I find this, especially as an adult, I like to have the right answer. And it's hard for me to say that I don't know. And sometimes that takes courage, and it also takes some patience to sit with that. There's also big, large things that people at Vestal have done that take a lot of courage. I think about everyone that's planned a march or participated in a march, everyone that has stood up when someone is saying something mean, and even just following simple rules at a school sometimes takes a lot of courage because other people don't always want to. So when you think of people that show courage and ways that you have shown courage, I also want you to think of one other way that the word courage can be used. Sometimes it can be to encourage somebody. To encourage somebody means to cheer them on, or to tell them good job, or you can do it. And even that sometimes takes a lot of courage, because people around you may not want to do that, or it may be taking a risk. It's always something that draws a little bit of attention to yourself because you're saying things out loud. And I think as you get older, one thing to think about, kids, as you get older, one thing to think about is, how can I encourage other people that are having a hard time? And does that sometimes take me being courageous and using my courage tool? So remember that the word courage comes from heart, and we put our hand on our heart to remember the courage tool and to use the courage tool. One thing I like to think about is that having the courage to do something is knowing that you are following your heart and that you are doing what is right. So I hope that you can think of both big and little tiny ways that you can use the Courage tool over the next few days. I also wanted to ask if you watched all 12 toolbox videos, if you would please, please, please send me an email that says which tools are your favorites and which tools do you find the hardest to use, and any advice you have, because I know that I have some things to learn about doing videos for children and adults. So if you have any advice for me, that would be great too. I appreciate it. All right, love you guys. Use those tools.